right, thank you for joining us. 6:30 Central Special Edition, along with Nathan Scott. I'm Tom Brannon. We've given Roley the 6:30 half hour off for this evening to talk about what everybody is talking about.
The weather.
And the stores reflect what we've been talking about.
We've seen pictures of empty bread aisles, and the eggs are gone, the milk's gone.
Yeah.
People are a little bit in a panic.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that I think part of that panic stems from your little old iPhone or little old Verizon device. You're looking at what weather is coming up, and you saw all of this 25, 30 something weird inches of snowfall, and that didn't do us any good. So we're here to talk you off the ledge and talk about this winter storm, major winter storm coming in. Yeah. One thing that's new that I do want to push real quick is you can check live radar pretty much any time from your home. Stream now. You see the little QR code. Why don't you take your phone, download that. That's going to take you to Live Radar 24/7. It's a part of our Plus platform, and it's going to be useful and handy. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you hear the little sleep pellets popping on the window, you'll know where the rain and the freezing rain is.
There's going to be lots of colors showing up on that radar by this time tomorrow.
There is. So let's set the table here. This is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about what warnings we have, what's at stake, and what you need to do. And then we're going to work our way into the accumulations that we're expecting. And then we'll close out with cold. This is, we say, a high impact storm because it's not only going to have wintry precipitation, there's a lot of cold air with it.
We were in the 50s today, Tom. It's going to be in the 30s tomorrow, and we're talking about a piercing type of situation with the cold. Mm-hmm. You're going to step outside Saturday, and you'll be like, I'm coming right back in because it's a shock to the system.
That's a good way to put it. Wind chill values are going to be hovering around zero, negative numbers over the next several days. So this is probably the warmest point of the next several days that we have for you. Of course, we start with the weather impact alert for Friday p.m. through Monday. We decided to take it through Monday because of the piercing cold.
Yeah, so it is going to be a high impact winter storm, and it comes with a variety of precipitation. It's all about location, 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 and we'll get more into that a little bit later, but some will get heavy snow, others inches of sleet, and then we have freezing rain, and it's going to switch back and forth right across central Arkansas. But there you see travel not recommended whatsoever. The roads are going to be atrocious once this winter precipitation starts to move in, and we're talking about icy trees, power lines, where that freezing rain happens into south and southeast Arkansas. Right. And with the cold weather, you've got to remember, bring in the pets. And we've been telling you, protect those pipes.
Yeah, if you haven't winterized the outside, go ahead and do that. That might be a good idea to cover up the vents that go under the house. Just to put a little piece of cardboard or something to keep the extreme cold air from getting under there. I got to do that. Don't let me forget. To keep your pipes from freezing, but you can also stream. When we talk about streaming, not only on 24/7 or whether THV 11 Plus, we're talking about keeping that stream going with hot and cold water. I talked to a plumber who came out and replaced a busted pipe at my house. He said, "Oh no, dripping's not going to do you. You do have to get a little steady stream to keep that water going." Because
you experienced it firsthand.
I did. I learned a lesson, and I was dripping my pipes, but there was one that I didn't do, and that's the one that, of course, went pop. Luckily, I got to it and turned off the water in time before it caused any damage.
That's good.
Well, the impacts: a major winter storm, lots of snow, sleet, ice. This is a far-reaching storm. This isn't just affecting Arkansas. This, Nathan, is taking up a lot of real estate from New Mexico to the Atlantic seaboard.
That is impressive.
That is impressive.
Yeah, winter storm warnings from Dallas all the way to Louisville, Kentucky, Nashville, and then that purple area, that's an ice storm warning. There are a few counties included in that ice storm warning here in Arkansas, Ashley and Chico counties. So that's where the worst of the freezing rain, or where ice is going to coat the trees and the power lines in that part of the state.
And speaking of the state, nearly every county is under a winter storm warning except for Ashley and Chico counties. So let's get into the start time. You know, the two main questions we get are what time does it start and how much we going to get, right? So we've broken it down here, Nathan. I'll let you take this page and explain what we're looking at when everything starts.
Most of Friday, we're dry. We'll see increasing clouds. The Arctic front moves in. The winds will pick up from the northeast about 15 to 25 miles per hour, but as for the chance of precipitation, it holds off until 3 to 6 for west and southwest Arkansas. Here in central Arkansas, we should be able to get all of the evening rush done before the real steady winter precipitation moves in between 6 and 9 o'clock, and then it'll take until about 9 o'clock or after for northeast Arkansas.
And we're currently in the time period where we can take a look at our high-res forecast models within 48 hours. We've been depending on the GFS and the Euro, and oh my goodness, what a ride we've had this week. Roller coaster ride, and nothing is set in stone. Here's what I want to do. I want to show this graphic. We're going to take a break in a second, but you've got the graph, the G-A-R-A-F, the graph, and you've got the HER. Those are our two high-res short-term models. They still show a little bit of difference, but it's all wintry.
It's all the same story. Blues and pinks. Blues the snow, pink is the sleet and freezing rain. And how's that line set up between the snow and sleet will determine on how much snow you can expect.
But my goodness, Nathan, it's 11 degrees in Little Rock. How in the world is it sleeting outside?
Yeah.
We'll be able to answer that question. So coming up after the break, we're going to get into that as well as accumulation amounts that we're expecting. Stay tuned. All right, we are back. When we last left you, we talked about the warnings and advisories, what to expect. And now we're going to run you through our high-res radar as well as another potential projected radar with the European model that really shows up, well, what's happening aloft.
Yeah. Which one do you choose? That's the question
exactly.
As a meteorologist.
I like the high-res stuff, the 48 hours, and then we'll get back to the European. Let's talk about the HER. We'll use the HER for this one. This is tomorrow, 6:30. Precipitation beginning in northwest Arkansas. Our temperatures in the 20s and 30s. And by the time we hit, let's say, 9 o'clock, that's pretty good pace of precipitation moving in, Nathan.
Yeah,
at that time.
It may start off as snow before changing over to sleet here in central Arkansas, Tom. Now, will that snow actually accumulate? Probably not, because it's not the steady snow, but northwest Arkansas, you're getting to the deeper blues. So that's where the snow will start to really pile up. And you see that dividing line.
Yeah,
it is
clearly
right over northern parts of central Arkansas. And that's what we're going to have to watch out for, because this is heavy, heavy snow. Clinton, Batesville, Fort Smith, Fayetteville, North Arkansas. And then we're talking about the changeover from the heavy snow into the pink. That's sleet. It could be very heavy sleet, but if that line creeps a little farther to the south, Little Rock Metro could have a period of heavy snow, and we just don't know where that line is going to set up at this moment.
Yeah, the melting layer is going to cause some chaos this weekend. Where does that melting layer shape up? If you're south of it, whether you're north of it, it's just going to depend on where it is, but that looks nice and wintry and mosaic-y. Oh, here's the one we're going to talk about. Let me back it up. I didn't put any pause points on this one, Nathan. My apologies.
It just flew right through there.
It just flew. That's it. It's all right. What I want to do is I'll back it all the way up. We'll go back to 4 o'clock Friday. Let's talk about what we're seeing on this graphic, temps difference graphic of what's happening at the surface and aloft.
This is a busy map, but let me try to break it down here for you. What you're looking at, the temperatures in the white box. That is the surface temperature. The temperature in the purple box, that's the temperature expected around 5,000 feet above the surface. And when we talk about the different types of precipitation, this clearly shows you have to think of it as a 3D situation going on here. The pink line, that's the freezing line at the surface. The blue line, that's the freezing line at 5,000 feet. So the moisture is moving in from Oklahoma and Texas. This Arctic air is making its way down from the northeast, but it's a shallow layer of Arctic air right at the surface. And there you see the blue line has started to drop, but the pink line is well down into South Arkansas. And look what happens. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Saturday morning, temperatures 5,000 feet in El Dorado are into the 40s. So the snowflakes, they're melting, and they'll primarily stay as raindrops until you get right at the surface where it's 27 degrees. That means rain's falling, but it's freezing on contact. You got freezing rain. You have an ice situation.
I didn't check this this model run. The models run European model. You've got 0Z, 12Z, 6, and 18. Which run is this?
This is probably, I would say, the 18 from what I'm looking at.
So the 18Z, which came down not long ago, and we really discount this one. We like the 0Z and the 12Z, but I hope this is not a trend. We went warm with pink and sleet and freezing rain, and now we're back to seeing snow with the 18Z.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. Is that just a trend of one model, or are the other models going to follow? But we're going to be right on the line where it could be snow, sleet, back and forth across central Arkansas.
Yeah, and notice it went away as the layer warms up just a little bit. Mainly snow north Arkansas. Little Rock, 17 degrees at the surface, but 33 degrees aloft. So the little snowflake melts into a raindrop and hits that sub-freezing air. Does it have time to become a sleet pellet, or is it freezing rain? More likely in Monticello, it's freezing rain.
Everybody is below freezing across the entire state, and it just depends on where that freezing level is from the surface all the way to the cloud level. Also, another thing to note, Tom, is when you have very cold temperatures like this, normally when you have 1 inch of liquid or 1 inch of rain in the forecast, this translates to 10 inches of snow when it's 32 degrees. When you have temperatures into the teens, your snow ratios skyrocket. So instead of 1 inch of liquid equals 10 inches of snow, it could be 1 inch of liquid equals 15, 20 inches of snow. That's why the snowfall totals are going to be very impressive into North Arkansas.
Now we take a little bit of a step ahead. This is Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. We begin to see the influx of the colder air mass at all levels move into central Arkansas. Could be a brief transition back to snow before everything wraps up as that freezing line begins to move further to the south and east. This is Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. We get a dry slot there. There's still some wraparound snowfall, but look what happens. Monticello, 25 degrees, but 36 aloft. So, you know, this is really shaping up to be more of an ice storm, freezing rain event for those folks. I don't think they're going to see much.
And then also on the backside of the storm, yes, it's showing snow, but is there moisture still available once that cold air catches up to all levels of the atmosphere or not? And that's something we'll have to watch out for with the newest data coming in for tomorrow. Okay,
what to expect? Let's go. We've talked about accumulations during our newscast, but generally speaking, here's what you can expect around the state.
Mainly a snow event with a little bit of sleet possible in North Arkansas. That includes Clinton, Batesville, Marshall, the Ozarks, and then here in Central Arkansas, it's a wintry mess. It's a potpourri of precipitation. It's going to be maybe snow, especially for the northern areas of this pink zone, but a sleet storm is anticipated in a large part of Central Arkansas, and then there could be some freezing rain, especially the farther south from Little Rock that you are. In the dark purple area, it's mostly sleet and or freezing rain, and we do have potential of an ice storm, especially in the southeast Arkansas.
We want to run through the accumulations real quick. We're running a little short on this segment, so we'll just eat into the next segment. Let's go. Snowfall forecast. This was what everybody's been waiting on.
It is a tough forecast, Tom. There's going to be a very tight gradient in the snowfall accumulation dependent upon where that transition from the sleet goes to snow. So we are pretty confident with it staying all snow, you're looking at easily 6 to 12 inches across North Arkansas, but there could be a jackpot zone or a sweet spot of 10 to 15 inches or more. Then those totals really start to diminish the closer that you get to Little Rock Metro. This could shift though. If we get more data saying that the snow sticks around longer in Central Arkansas, we're going to have to bump these numbers up in Central Arkansas and take the snow maybe a little bit farther to the south. But right now, we're going with little to no snow into South Arkansas.
I know that looks, kids are like, oh, come on, man, why aren't we getting any snow? And it's just the way things are shaping up aloft. But one of the things we'll have to contend with that I don't want to deal with is a bunch of little ice pellets fall into the ground in the form of sleet, of course, and that could be piling up as well. Several inches of sleet, that's ice. When it refreezes at night, it causes all kinds of problems.
Yeah, it's going to be very crunchy out there with 2 to 4 inches of sleet. That doesn't coat power lines, that doesn't coat your vehicle, but still causes a huge issue on the roads. The sleet really diminishes the farther north that you are, and then also the farther south because you got more freezing rain mixed in.
Not to leave out southeast Arkansas, I guess we're talking pretty much an ice storm for at least a couple of those counties, Ashley and Chico County.
And that's the area, Drew County, Bradley County, Ashley, Chico counties, where we could see down tree limbs, down trees, down power lines, significant, numerous power outages in that part of southeast Arkansas. But the freezing rain could also try to push its way into the metro. A 1/10 of an inch of ice will certainly cause maybe some minor issues, especially if you're trying to walk around with sleet and then freezing rain on top of that. We don't want anybody to get injured, so just watch out for that.
And with that, we're going to take a break and come back. We'll talk briefly about the cold air mass that's moving in. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. We're going to talk about cold temperatures. One of the things we didn't get a chance to really talk about because we ran out of time in this segment is to answer that question of why is it 12 degrees outside and we're seeing freezing rain and sleet. And all of that has to do with that warm layer aloft, where it is, how thick it is the air mass cold enough to support the little raindrop to turn back to sleet or not. That's what we're going to be dealing with, and that's why this forecast is in a state of flux.
Yeah.
It will change even more.
I used to hate that as a kid.
Flux?
When it was like looking at the thermometer, it's 17 degrees, it's not snowing, it's freezing rain. Like, what's the deal? Because I didn't understand what was going on in the atmosphere when I was that young.
The atmosphere is like a Dagwood sandwich or something like that. Is that what you were lots of layers. Let's run through the cold real quick. We do have dangerous cold conditions. If anything, this is really the home run, not in a good way, but the one thing that we're sure of, the high confidence, dangerous cold, extreme cold warning. This is going to last us through Monday with wind chills of -5 to -15. So air temperatures in the single digits and teens, the wind chill values are going to feel even colder. High temperatures on Saturday, only in the teens. They're probably not going to move much with precipitation falling. Sunday the same way. We're going to stay in the deep freeze all the way through the early part of the week next week. Hope we could get out of the 32-degree readings that Tuesday. That's
a long ways away.
Lows forecast single digits and teens with frozen precipitation on the ground. And the more snow you get, the more radiation or cooling at night. So any kind of heat's going to escape.
Skies clear out.
Yeah.
And that's going to allow the temperatures to drop down below zero, especially with a fresh blanket of snow in North Arkansas.
The lows on Monday, 3 in Little Rock, 7 below expected Fayetteville. That is some mighty cold temperatures, and they're going to continue to be very cold all week next week. Again, we're going to bump up just a bit with our readings, but the important thing to note here is that it is going to be bitterly cold, dangerously cold. Don't mess around with it. Wind chill values will be in the single digits to below zero. Look at, Monday. That hurt. That hurt hitting that button.
Yikes, yeah.
Getting to that. Tuesday's a little bit better, and even better still Wednesday. Let me wrap it up with this before we run out of time. Weather impact alert all the way through Monday next week.
Lots of red on that 7-day forecast, but like you said, hope on the horizon. We should be able to climb above freezing by Tuesday. You're going to be stuck this weekend, though, and the roads are going to be terrible probably all the way through Tuesday, maybe even more than that for those sheltered areas where they don't get much sun.
That's right. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. Now, before we go, there's still plenty of changes that could come before winter weather arrives. We have more content streams planned, including tomorrow, 2:30 on THV11+, and again right here, 6:30 Central tomorrow evening.
If we're not live when you want us, we also have a 24/7 look at the radar as things develop on THV11+. You can track the weather anytime you need it, so if you haven't already, make sure to download for free on any smart TV. And that includes Samsung, Apple, so many options to really get some great coverage.
Roku is one of those options as well if you don't have it. Thanks for watching 6:30 Central.